You said what you said. You've had an opportunity to reflect on what you had to say about LeBron James in comparison to Michael Jordan. The floor is yours. What would you like to say now?
Let me say at the outset, clearly LeBron James is a great player in any era. You'd be foolish to suggest otherwise. His longevity, his statistics are amazing. I think what makes Michael go goes way beyond the court. I think on the court, Michael obviated the center position. Prior to Jordan, you needed the Elijah Wants, the Ewings, the Kareems, the Bob Lanairs. And the way Michael played, he made it unnecessary to have a great center. Look who he won the championship with: Bill Weddington, Dickie Simpkins, Bill Cartwright. And I think that had a huge impact on the game. Secondly, and perhaps even more importantly, I think Michael individually broke down every barrier that existed for professional basketball players, and in particular African American professional basketball players, to become national marketing brand ambassadors. So the whole generation of LeBrons and Kobe's and Steph Curry's having their own shoes and being in commercials did not exist before Michael came in the game. Magic didn't have it. Bird didn't have it. Dr. J didn't have it. Kareem didn't have it. And I think that's a preponderant impact. I think third, I believe he's the first NBA player to become a billionaire. I believe he's the first NBA player to become a majority owner of an NBA team. And finally, he had a tremendous impact on fashion. He changed the look of the way the players play with the long shorts. He made bald as beautiful. And so I think beyond comparing statistics, who had more points, who averaged more, even who had more championships, I think Michael's impact is extremely broad and deep in what he did to change the game. I don't think any other player in history had that kind of an impact.
What do you make of people who would look, and I want to get far beyond those two individuals that we're talking about for the moment, but I got this one question to ask you. What do you make of folks and their assertions that the times that we're living in now, the advent of social media, the digital stratosphere, the microscope that is on players in today's game like never before. The impression is given that even the great Michael Jordan, with his unparalleled popularity, I compare him to no one. The only person I've ever compared him to was Michael Jackson, for crying out loud. That's how popular Michael Jordan was. When you listen to people talk today, they talk about the climate, the environment, the society that we're living in today, and they say it's far more invasive than it has ever been, which makes the road tougher for a guy like LeBron James compared to what Jordan had to endure during his playing career. You've been around a long time. You know this business like the back of your hand. What do you make of that, of those assertions?
Clearly, social media has brought the fans closer to the players. Everyone can express their opinion. You don't have to work for a newspaper or a television station to have an opinion. But I think it's the natural tendency when you're the best at anything. There's a human tendency to try to tear people down. And certainly Michael had that because of his immense popularity. People criticize him, for example, for not being political enough, not expressing his desire for certain candidates. And so, sure, I think that the social media has changed the game. I also think if you want to be objective, the game has changed itself. I had this discussion about a month ago with Rod Thorne, who's a very dear friend of mine, who drafted Michael Jordan. And he said to me, which I didn't know, he said, do you realize today that the average NBA team takes 1/3 more shots than they did in Jordan's era? So when Jordan averaged 38 points a game, if you increase that by 1/3, that means he would average 52. Now, I think Michael could have averaged, and Michael took 1.7 threes per game. That's all he took. I think he could have averaged almost anything he wanted if that was what was required to win. That's all he cared about, was winning. And I think his record of 6 out of 6 is the greatest in the history of the NBA. Never lost the championship.
What's up, y'all? So I appreciate y'all for tapping into my channel. The clip I just show y'all, that was a clip of the never-ending Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, and sometimes Kobe Bryant debate, because y'all know there's a lot of people that like to debate whether LeBron James or Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. And y'all know that, I'm always going to rep for Michael Jordan. MJ, he's always going to be the greatest of all time. I don't care what anyone says. You know me? LeBron James, he can't touch Michael Jordan. He's not even close. LeBron James, he has a tendency to always, not always, but, oftentimes choke during the finals. And I was seeing games when LeBron James, all of a sudden, he just he doesn't look interested in actually playing the game. He just gives up. And that is LeBron James's mentality. He likes to give up. But Michael Jordan, on the other hand, he will always play till the end. And that is why he's greatest of all time. And, his whole Michael Jordan mentality that he had, this instinct, is, second to none. The only player that can actually match that was Kobe Bryant. But I gotta say that, like I said, MJ is greatest of all time. And I think that most people most players rather in the NBA actually would agree with that. Not only them, but agents and GMs and sports analysts and pretty much the whole sports world, except for some fans that likes to watch LeBron James's wood. So let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.